yeah, I try not to give a grade of B's, so I try to give all of you the A or A plus. Okay, so yeah, please do well. Yeah, so that I don't need to be kind of disappointed. Okay, so yeah, and then yeah, it's a grading kind of policy or distribution. So for quiz that we will take every week, it will take around 10%, and then yeah, I thought about some other possibilities, but I decided to have the both midterm or and the final exams during our class, because if we just skip the midterm or even just the finals either, and then uh, it is quite convenient, and it gives me more free time, but at the same time I found that the students don't care too much about the class, about what they learn. So eventually I concluded that taking the exam will make you study a little more seriously, and then get something out of this class. Okay, and then I try to prepare for some homework, whether it's already posted or already included homework in the original CS224N class, or I might prepare for additional homework that I'd like to ask you to handle. Okay, so it's only having a 10% out of 100, and then I'm still debating about this option. But so it can be opted out, or we can just remove this option. So what do you guys think? So do you guys like to do the term project? It will be just the topic could be chosen on your own, and I try not to spend I try not to ask you guys to spend additional time just for the project of this course, but instead I encourage this term project to be mostly related or in line with your own research. Okay, so in that sense, hopefully, it is kind of it gives a little bit good opportunity for you to think about some possible research directions that can apply this research what we learned in this class into your own research. So let me do a quick poll. So let's add the term project, or let's remove this option. Okay. Okay, and then tentatively let's remove this option. Okay, so it's tentative, so if we think it's useful or meaningful, and then let's consider it can be also be added back. And then also for class participation, please I encourage you guys to do or ask as many questions as you want. And that way I can give you more about what I know. And okay, and so this is a brief intro about our course. Any questions so far? 네.
그 소프트웨어에서 퀴즈 내시는 건데 수업 시간에 들어와서 이제 풀기 시작하는 거예요.
네. So about the quiz, here is how it works. So there is an access code that I will give in the beginning of the class. So it will be just maybe in the previous case it was like KUDL, which means Korea University Deep Learning. So yeah, I just set up those simple character string, and then once you access this website, and then it will ask some access code, and then you just enter that access code, and then you enter your name or your student ID number, and then just yeah, solve the quiz and then submit it. Any other questions? 네.
Should all students bring the tablet with them?
The quiz can be, yeah, you can solve the quiz by using your phone as well. Yeah. So it will not require a lot of like writing stuff. So it will be just mostly simple questions. So 네.
다음 시간까지 커버해야 되는 동영상이
네.
정해져 있네요.
그거는 네, 오늘 이야기를. 네. So yeah. Yeah, until next class, yeah, we will, yeah, the homework, yeah, for the next class will be to watch the two lectures. So the first one I found, I just briefly checked the course videos, and the first one was just kind of an overview of the this entire NLP kind of applications or areas. And then the next one is a little bit more specific topics, so I decided to watch the two videos until the next class. So it's about, yeah, one lecture is more, yeah, a little bit more than an hour, so maybe an hour and 10 minutes or so. And so yeah, watching the two of them will take maybe 2.5 hours. Any other questions? Okay, so we already have quite a lot of homework for until the next class, and then today, yeah, I don't know what to do, and is there anyone who likes to say something? Well, I don't mean to end the class right now. Yeah. So yeah, I was thinking about how to spend our time, and then this is a graduate course, of course. So yeah, I decided to hear about what you guys are currently doing in your maybe research and maybe your lab and in the department. So yeah, how about having some introduction time of ourselves? 어디서부터 시작할까요? So you can say your name and maybe in what year are you in, like, and also your programs, so whether it's a PhD or a master or integrated PhD programs, and then maybe your lab name, and then your brief research areas or topics. Okay. And then let's practice English this time. So okay, yeah, it can be just brief. Yeah, it can be as short as you want. So yeah, don't need to be much pressure. So in what direction? Like this, or here, or there. So how about this? So I see 4 students in the very corner, and then we can do this. What is it called? Rock, scissors, paper. 네, 가위바위보로 정하죠. 근데 이긴 사람이 먼저 할까요? 진 사람이 먼저 할까요? 진 사람이 먼저. 네. 자, 안 내면 술래. 가위바위보. 저기. 네. 자, 안 내면 술래. 가위바위보. 다 가위고 여기가 보적이죠. 네. 그럼 거기부터. 네. 그냥 자기 자리에서 하죠. 여기 뭐 또 좁으니까. So you said that you're working on the like natural language generation using GANs. Is that what you said?
Yeah, we do such things too. But nowadays we are focusing on TTS or translation.
What you mean the language translation from English to Korean or something like that? I see. Okay. So you guys know what TTS is, right?
Text to speech.
Yeah, text to speech. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we can do like this and then this directions. 네.
Hi, my name is Young Cho. I'm also in English department. English and literature department. I am advised by Professor Lam Husong. I also just started my doctoral program. I did my master's in the same group. I wrote my master's thesis on speaker identification and worked on a series of automatic speech recognition projects. In my doctoral program, I think I'll first start out by focusing on natural language processing. I'm particularly interested in using NLP and various other machine learning techniques to develop programs that help people learn the natural structures of foreign languages in a more efficient way. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Hyungwon Yang, and these are my team groups. So I also majored in English department, and this is my first semester, so PhD degree. And I also recently doing speech recognition, which is another way to call automatic speech recognition, and I do some kind of natural language processing skills in order to improve the automatic speech recognition rate. So such as smoothing skills, kind of nasal line, those kind of things that I will work or study with people. And I also expected to mixing those kind of smoothing skills with machine learning techniques, and I expected to learn from this class. So those are my research.
네, 박수 한번 치시죠. 아 근데 그 저기 영문과예요 그러면? 영문과?
네.
그 아까 그 뭐라 했죠? 랭귀지 뭐라 그랬지 않았어요? 다른 뭐 같은 과예요 그게?
다 저희 같은.
다 영문과인 거예요?
영문학과인데
아,
학과 이름이 말할 기준이 없어서
영어 영문학과? 뭐 언어학과인가 이런 거랑은 다른 거죠, 그러면?
네, 링구이스틱스 언어학과도 있고.
하는 연구의 본질은 사실 같은데 그냥 과가 행정적으로 다 존재할 뿐.
하여튼 고대는 언어학과가 있고 영문학과도 있고 영어 영문학과도 있고 그런 거죠?
아니 영어 영문학과랑 언어학과.
아, 네네.
영어 영문학과 내에 문학을 하는 쪽이 있고 어학을 하는 쪽이 있는데 저희가 속한 어학 파트에서 주로 언어학 쪽에서 하는 거예요.
네. 오케이, thanks.
My name is Hong Yeonjung, and I am also in the same lab with those people. And my research project is mainly focused on automatic speech recognition and speech synthesis. And well, I like to learn a lot about natural language processing from this class too, so hopefully I picked up a lot in this class. Let's have fun.
So one question, which venues are you guys usually publishing your work? Like which conferences or journals?
Usually 한국에서 and
Usually 한국에서
I don't know how to pronounce it.
한국 우수학회
Yeah, 한국에서.
Any international ones?
인터내셔널은 아직 낸 게 아직은 지금 계속해서 그냥 연구 공부 주제 먼저 하고 있고.
네, 고마워요.
Hello everyone, my name is Yu Jung-chae and I am in integrated PhD course. This is my fifth semester. And actually I have studied on generative word gesture. So for this, I just want to study how to analyze user dialogue by using word vector something. So that's why I take this class. So I will do my best. Thank you.
So, okay. So which department are you in?
학교는 UST 테스트에서 보는 거고
아.
전공은 로보틱스.
Hi, my name is Hyun-Yuan, and I'm an Kim Jong-bong professor's data mining and intelligent markets lab right now, and it's my second semester in my master's. And I don't have a specific research area yet, but since my bachelor's degree was in English literature, I like to connect it with the machine learning algorithms that I've been learning to these days. So
Hi, my name is Jimin Lee, and my department is in industrial engineering. My major is graphic models and statistics, but I learned text mining before, so I'm interested in NLP. So, thank you.
So who is your advisor?
한성원 교수.
네.
My name is Jin-Guk Kim, and I'm studying at the industrial engineering and in the data lab. Name is Fusion Data Analysis. And this is my first semester of master degree, and I don't know a lot of things about data analysis, but I want to analyze the text data, and I have been studied the text mining, and after that I want to use text data, so I choose this class. And thank you.
So who is your advisor as well?
Same.
Same. Okay.
hi, my name is Jiun Chae, and I'm in the same lab as these guys, and I'm majoring in industrial engineering, and I usually did research about network analysis, but I am very interested with this natural language processing, so I take this class. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Summer Lee, and I'm also same lab from same lab with these guys. And actually, I decided yet what to do with text mining or natural language processing, but I stopped majored in linguistics in undergraduate, so I'm still very interested in this area, and so from this course, I want to find my interesting area on natural language processing. Thank you.
이렇게 해볼까요?
Hello, my name is Jae Song. My major is industrial management engineering, and I'm in the same lab in these people. And I'm interested in deep learning like CNN or natural NLP. So this time I want to study natural language processing. So I'm I study here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Minhyang Lee, and my major is Industrial Management Engineering, and I'm same with these guys, vision data analysis, and I'm a second semester in master course, and I studied about network analysis and about generic data, but this semester I want to study about text mining and NLP, so I'm here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lee. This is my third semester of master's degree program, and Professor Kang Jae-woo is my advisor, and I'm interested in solving computer vision tasks using GANs.
네, 소개하면 돼요.
Hello. Hello, my name is Sunbin Kim and my advisor is Venture Kim, and I'm late because of my lab meeting, so sorry. My major is computer science, and I'm interested in generating explanation from the visual information. So I want to study about the natural language processing. So it's all. Thank you.
So are you talking about the image captioning or
Yeah.
image captioning?
Kind of. It's quite different from the class relevance.
Ah,
Yeah.
so okay, some interpretable kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, I
It's
see.
kind of actually.
XA. Okay, yeah. So yeah, for your information, in case you haven't heard, XAI is a kind of a buzzword in these days within the deep learning area, which stands for explainable artificial intelligence. So X from explainable and AI. So yeah, so that is a kind of a little active research area. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
My name is Hyun Lee, and I'm in master course. It's my second semester in major is computer science, and I'm on this line. And till now I had research on visualization algorithm, but I don't know what I will working on from the semester. So, and I have interested in machine learning and kind of things. So, yeah, thank you.
Hello everyone, good evening. I am Khan Mohammad Azam. I am an international student, came from Bangladesh, and I am a student of computer science and engineering department. This is my fourth semester, and I am a member of Visual Analytics Lab, and this lab is actually supervised by Professor Cho Jae-woo. And my research includes a smart grid system, and I am currently working on partial discharge analysis and intelligent computation system using deep learning techniques and other machine learning stuffs. And so I believe we will be able to learn a lot of NLP stuff through this course, and I hope everyone will enjoy this class very much. Thank you.
I'm Isang John, and I'm master's degree. First semester. My advisor is Kang Jae-woo, and I'm interested in
그 드럭 디스커버리 드럭 스크린.
So, are you the winner of the recent challenges? You guys have won?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Great.
Hello, my name is Kim Jae-han, and my advisor is Kang Jae-woo professor, and I'm working on bioinformatics. And my current project includes some Alzheimer disease prediction and building a database from text.
So, what kind of data are you using to predict Alzheimer's disease?
I'm using PubMed literatures. PubMed is the archive of biomedical literatures.
Right.
So we are collecting the abstract of PubMed literature and extract some gene fusion information from it and build a database.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Taesung Hwang, and I'm studying deep learning under Professor Lee Sak in the Department of Computer Science. And I actually majored in industrial engineering when I was a undergraduate student, and I just started my master's. So I don't have the exact research area yet, but I'm partially interested in dialogue systems. So I'm working on it right now. And I'm glad to be here.
Hi, my name is Kyung-min Kim. I'm first class. This is my first semester, so I don't know what can I do this class. How can I study this class? And
지도 교수님이 누구세요?
I'm interested in the training system and style system.
Hi, my name is Ujik Yang, and it's my first semester as a master's degree. And I'm in Pilsong Gan's data science and business analysis laboratory. And so now I not have a particular research area, but I'm seeking for it and I'm interested in NLP. And actually, I couldn't get enrolled in this class, so I hope professor would allow me to get in. Thank you.
I am also first semester of master's degree, and my advisor is Professor Pilson Kang, and I'm in data science and business analytics. I'm interested in deep NLP, so I try to take this lecture, and I did a project about making role chatbot and making summarization model using sequence to sequence. So
Is that a summarization?
yes. So recently I'm interested in verticast model like curate. So I do best of deep NLP. Thank you.
My name is Sang Hyun. I'm a PhD student. This is my first year. I'm with Professor Ino's lab, and my research is blockchain and smart contract, and which is not related, but it is. So, thank you.
I'm Zena Morgan. I'm currently working on robot emotions and how to derive emotions from text, which also requires real vectors that be involved in natural language processing. And I'm familiar with saying that with
So you said robot emotions? Which
yeah,
robot emotions?
yeah. And
Does robot has emotion? Yeah.
yeah, hopefully if I make it.
So you want to make the robot to express particular emotion, or? Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'm Kim. I was majored in mathematics in Southern University. And, this is my second semester. I'm working in database data mining laboratory of Professor Kang Jae-woo. I'm interested in NLP lessons such as QA to meet everybody. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jin Lee. I am PhD in my third year, and my advisor is Professor Jae Kang. My research interests are NLP applications like question answering, biomedical name based recognition, and other bunch of industrial applications.
Hi, my name is Yu Sung-ju. I'm not enrolled in this class because I'm an undergraduate researcher at Kizago University. My current research is automatic colorization and style transfer, leveraging user text inputs. I actually have a paper due next week, so it's going to be a rough week. And it's my first time studying NLP. I want to study both. I want to know about NLP before I go into
my name is Jung Lee, and I'm working on intelligence information laboratory professor. It's my first semester of PhD. Actually, I'm working. I've been worked for a long time in companies, research center or venture. So I'm actually very excited to study computer science again. I majored computation theory in master degree at university, so I think it's a very good chance for me to wrap up my ability in
Hello, I'm Kyung-ju Kim, and my first semester in graduate school. So I don't have my research interest, but I hope that I can find my research interest in this natural language processing class. Thank you.
So who is your advisor?
Professor Jae.
Hello, my name is Boyoung Pham, and I think next to this guy, and I am a freshman here as well. I studied like statistics to undergraduate, but it's kind of my first approach to computer science, like my whole lifetime, and so I'm kind of nervous, and I'm trying to find my research interest, but recently I've been trying to help out with my senior working with the entity recognition regarding biological data. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Yusong, and I'm studying finance at the master's. This is my second year, and I'm interested in asset pricing. And I think this course may not have much relevance in writing my thesis paper, but when I advance the industry, I think this will help me incorporate the untraditional database when pricing assets.
So you said what kind of pricing? So
Asset pricing. Assets.
Assets? Like financial kind of stuff?
Yes, I belong to the finance department.
그 뭐예요? 경제학과예요? 경제?
경영학부의 재무론 전공.
경영학과 박사 과정이에요? 석사 과정? 오케이, 네.
Hi, my name is Hamilton, and I'm in the computer science department, and my advisor is Professor Lee, and I'm in my first semester of master's degree. My current research is on automatic polarization with fixed interaction.
Nice to meet you. My name is Mochi, who is a PhD student at this first semester. Also, my advisor is Professor Ju, and I'm currently a research engineer in smart card laboratory at Edge Electronics. As you know, there are many requirements of artificial intelligence domain, such as autonomous driving, recommendation system in new environment. So my mission is to find a new project in artificial intelligence domain. So I will focus on taking some academic background of machine learning. So I will find a new project next semester. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Chang Park, and this is my first semester in master degree. And recent my research interest is deep generative model, and my advisor is Gerald Chu. And so thanks.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Choi. It's my third semester of my master degree. And my major is computer science, and I'm currently working on building a system that can automatically interpret charts, such as extract data table from pie chart or bar chart. And I plan to improve my work by adding some NLP models.
Hi, my name is Hong Jae. My advisor is also Professor Jae Chu, and this semester is my second semester of master's degree, and I want to study diverse area about artificial intelligence. Hopefully, particularly my interest is natural language process, and until last semester I studied probabilistic graphical inference in social network, and recently I will start unsupervised natural machine translation, neural machine translation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tony Chong, and I'm also from Professor Chi's lab, and I'm currently working on building visual analytics for deep learning models. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Won Cho, and I also a student of Professor Chu, and this is my first semester of my MS degree. And I'm interested in generating image using user interaction. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kim Pil-kang, and my advisor is also him. I really respect him. And it's my first semester of integrated doctoral program. My research area is mainly focused on text mining, topic modeling, or visualization. And I also interested in recommender system. And I want to know what people want to get or want to what they want to think, what they really think. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, my name is Dream and I'm in third semester of master program, and I'm also from Choose Lab, and I major in computer science. Recently, I'm interested in NLP and data mining, and I started a new project about data mining. Thank you.
Okay, so so while you guys are doing some introduction, I came up with a few simple stuff that I like to mention. Okay, so if you go to the CS224N website, and then there are of course the class slides. Like this is the first one that you will study during the first online video lectures, and then at the same time it also has some reading material. And in the first week of the reading material, it contains three of these math background related simple kind of PDF files. And so it's a kind of brief tutorial about three key math backgrounds on linear algebra and this probability and and this optimization. Okay, so there is a optimization different optimization techniques called a linear programming or linear optimization, and also non-linear optimization. So linear optimization or linear programming is relatively simple, and then among the non-linear optimization there are a bunch of different techniques, but this convex optimization is really the main part. So if you have time, so you can study this when you have free time. Okay, so it's updated by some Korean guy who is a professor at University of Michigan. Okay, and we often see this kind of brief kind of tutorial documents in the beginning of a particular, a little bit advanced deep learning courses or machine learning courses. So in this case, they decided that these are the main background needed for studying this deep learning based NLP courses. And so it's quite short usually in these documents. So in the case of linear algebra that I'm mostly familiar with, it's only like 20 or 30 pages of document, and so it will not be comprehensive if you do not know about these topics already. And the main purpose for these is just for reviewing, so assuming that you've already studied this topic a little bit seriously, and then it's just going through the key topics just briefly. But I often find these articles quite useful, because if you feel that you don't you need a background on maybe probability, and then you will usually go to some undergrad or maybe some basic courses on the entire probability or maybe statistics courses. So it may cover really important or useful part from the perspective of machine learning, but it also contains many other a little bit irrelevant or less useful content, right? So you can maybe start with these kind of documents, and then of course you may not be able to understand fully with this short amount of documents, but you can maybe search for a particular topics from this document, and then maybe study starting from the list of the topics contained in here. Yep. And so I briefly looked at this at least this linear algebra related document, and I find it's quite it covers probably the most part of the necessary kind of features or the contents that we need to know to study this machine learning, based on this background. And then also many other books has this kind of short tutorials about the math background. So sometimes, this kind of short tutorial is actually quite useful and understandable. So for example, you guys know this, probably many of you will know this book of this deep learning, written by Ian Goodfellow and other folks. And then, let's see. So it also has some backgrounds on the linear algebra and probability and information theory. So if you don't have enough time to study just this particular basic math courses from scratch, and then those are kind of a good starting point that you can maybe study your this topic about. And then of course, some topics may be kind of difficult to understand, and then you maybe have to just search for these keywords, and then look for some other additional kind of tutorial or other textbook kind of related contents, so that you can have a full understanding about it. And then another probably final thing that I'd like to mention today is to find out some good papers, maybe in the natural language processing, in case you haven't had much background on it. And then so there are at least within the computer science disciplines, there are a few major conferences related to this field. So the first one, or the best one, is called the ACL, right? ACL is Association for Computational Linguistics. So there is also conferences containing the name of an NLP. For example, NAACL. Oh yeah, it doesn't also contain the NLP. So mostly this computational linguistics is another academic name for this particular area of this natural language processing. So if you want to find some interesting papers that you can utilize for your own research, and then you can maybe search for a particular keywords, but those some papers that might be really useful but doesn't contain that particular keyword may not be retrieved from your search. And so in that case, you can browse, you can go to this major conference website and then look at the paper list, in terms of their titles and at least some brief abstract as well. And so ACL or NATCO, which is like ACL of North American kind of a division or something like that. So it's like a little bit of a not a top tier. The very first or the best one is ACL, and then a little bit second or 1.5 tier kind of conferences are including this NACO or EMNLP, which is empirical methods in NLP. Oh, that actually contains NLP in the name of a conference. And then this focuses on kind of a practically useful or practically working kind of methods instead of focusing on technical jargons and things like that. So people tend to like more and more in these days about this EMNLP conferences among the a little bit non-top tier. All of them are major conferences, but the ACL is the very top one. And then among the others, I think EMNLP is one of the most preferred one among the people. And then what other conferences? So there is a conference named as a Calling Conference on Language. I don't know. But that is another conference in this NLP area. And then also yeah, I barely know about this conference, but I also saw this conference called a CONLL. Let me just check.
Computational linguistics.
Computational linguistics. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a really core, yeah, NLP conference. Computational natural language modeling. And you mentioned, yeah, you were talking about the calling, right? Okay, I see. Yeah, calling is quite a famous one. I think this one is also a famous one, but I don't think it's that a major one. But yeah. And is there any other conferences in the NLP domains? So in case you want to see what kind of major conferences are available, and then, yeah, personally I often go to this search, do this search. Yeah, you can search for this conference ranking and Google Scholar. Okay, and then if you go to this website, okay, and then you can maybe select some subcategories among many of the engineering and technology field. And then here we see computational linguistics, I believe. Does anyone see? Yeah. Okay, so this one shows the list of the conferences yeah, in terms of their like reputations and Google computed ranks. So they use this measure called H5 index, or maybe, yeah. So this is, that 5 is actually a kind of a hyperparameter. Okay, so we can think of H5 index or H3 index or H10 index or something like that. And so I don't, yeah, so there are some specific formula that defines this kind of measure, but yeah, from my understanding, although it might be a little incorrect, but it's like counting the number of papers that are cited at least 10 times in case of H10 kind of index. Yeah, I think it's right. So yeah, so it's not just simply counting the total number of citations of all the papers published in a particular conference, but it's only counting the number of papers, not counting the number of total citations, but number of papers that are cited more than 10 times in the case of an H10 measure. Okay, so I think that measure is counted or computed on annual kind of average basis, I think. Yeah. So yeah, so sometimes yeah, we see some measures of H5 and H10 or things like that, and then that measure can be computed for a conference or for a particular researcher. Okay, and so if you are, yeah, if you have time or interested, and then you can consider like creating the Google Scholar profile of yourself. Yep. So yeah, it's my kind of a personal page registered in a Google Scholar, and it shows my H kind of index, I think. But yeah, I don't find any, yeah, kind of H kind of index. Oh yeah, here it is. Oops, it changed the layout. Oop. Yeah, so you see like a H index or something like that. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it's missing a particular number. So I don't know how it is defined, but anyways, you got the idea of how H, yeah, a particular number kind of an index is defined. Okay. Okay, so yeah, back to this conference list, it shows the list of the reputable kind of conferences or journals. And then, yeah, so interestingly, this archive is the top ranked one. But yeah, as you guys know, it doesn't mean that, I mean, even if you just published your paper in the archive, it doesn't mean that your publication is actually published in the top ranked journal, right? So it can be viewed as a kind of a really big umbrella, or it's kind of a superset of all these kind of papers published in the other official conferences and journals. Because in these days, as you guys know, people tend to just publish or upload their first draft of the paper, even when it is not yet published, or when it is under review. Yeah, people just go ahead and post their or upload their papers into this archive website, right? So it doesn't have any kind of review or selection processes. So yeah, it's but anyways, many of the good papers are also published in this paper in this archive. So it's ranked as top one, and then as you can see, ACL is the top one, and as I mentioned, the EMNLP seems to be second one, and then HLT NACO, it's just simply people just simply call it as a NACO, and then this language resource and evaluation is it's I think it is a little bit more like a kind of challenge type of a conference. So they post a particular kind of data set and some problem, the tasks. So like posting the training data set in advance, and then let people or participants train the model, and then for the test data set, they kind of evaluate the participants' model performances. Okay, and then we see coding as well, and then so for up to the rank 7, all of them are conferences. So unlike the other fields in computer science, the publishing conferences are a really major venue for good papers to appear. And then the 8th one is actually the first journal one among this list, which is called the Transactions of an ACL, or in short, it's called the TACL. And so that is considered as a top journal. If we consider only the journals. And then there are a bunch of other kind of stuffs, and as I mentioned, the CONLL is found in the maybe 16th ranked and so on. Okay. And then so in terms of just giving the overview about this relevant areas to the natural language processing. So we just looked at the list of the reputable conferences or venues in the natural language processing, and also as a kind of sister or really closely related areas, we also have text mining areas, or academic disciplines, and also related to text, there is also another kind of area of information retrieval. So information retrieval is mainly dealing with the text. You can just search. You can just think about the Google search. So that is an information retrieval, and that has its own academic areas or disciplines. Okay, but we usually separate this NLP areas with these two other areas. Okay, and also among these two, they seem to be also quite separated academically in terms of the published venues and so on. So in the case of text mining, so I don't think text mining has its own independent kind of academic venues, or maybe journals or conferences on its own. But text mining is taking a big part or big portion in many of the major conferences, including KDD, which is a top data mining conference, and also other data mining conferences like ICDM or CIKM. And also there is another top conference called World Wide Web, right? So that is so diverse conference, including many of different topics, but that also has a lot of text mining related publications. So you can also look at this conference as well. And then it's just a little bit my opinion, but this World Wide Web, so this is one of the toughest conference in the computer science. The acceptance rate is usually ranging from maybe 11 through less than 14. Okay, so usually the top conference has the acceptance rate of slightly more than 20. Okay, so around 21, 22, or 23, or even 4 is the typical kind of conference acceptance rate that we see for the major conferences. But this one has a particularly low acceptance rate. Yeah, and then but this WWW or World Wide Web Conference tend to like a little bit of a new topic. So if you have a new data set or kind of new kind of a problem definitions or things like that, and then even if you don't have a really like a deep mathematical background or fancy kind of theorems or like proofs and so on, it has non-trivial chance as long as your work touches upon really like unexplored problem and domains or data sets. On the other hand, KDD seem to focus more on the technical details or technical kind of novelty. So they are picky about, okay, so what is the new kind of technical novelty? Okay, so your technique is just nothing but applying the existing techniques to this particular problem. So they easily reject the papers based on this kind of comments. Yes, and then CIKM is so I don't like the name personally, but it's as I know, it's information and knowledge management and things like that. Okay, so so that is called the CIKM, and CIKM is mostly held in the Asian continent, like in the China or Hong Kong or Singapore or maybe Thailand and so on. And somehow, people in Korea seem to like this conference more than its actual kind of reputation. This is my personal opinion. And this is also a good conference for text mining as well. And the deadline for this CIKM is in about like 2 months. So if you have some promising kind of research topics that you are working on, and then you can consider submitting it there. Okay, and then this IR or information retrieval. In this area, the top conference is called SIG IR. And what is SIG? What is SIG? SIG stands for the name doesn't make much sense, but it's a special interest group. So special interest group, but so if you see SIG, and then you can just think of it as being the same as ACM1, ACM conference. Okay, so it's always like ACM SIG. So KDD is the full name is ACM SIG KDD. WW has its own association, not from ACM or IEEE, but this ACM is really the major, the biggest umbrella that handles or hosts a lot of conferences in computer science areas. And the full name for this ACM is Association for Computing Machinery. I think the name is cool, but machinery doesn't seem to be like really common words, but that is the acronym for this ACM. And then back to this, SIG-IR is the best one within the information retrieval domain. So it's basically search kind of related topics or areas. So that is the top one. But so that is of course the top one within the information retrieval. But I think that is the reputation of that conference is kind of staying the same, but not not increasing rapidly. So yeah, it's considered as one of the top conference, but yeah, that is not a kind of rapidly growing one. And then within the information retrieval, what is the second tier conference? That is this guy, CIKM. CIKM is considered as really the next to kind of a SIG-IR kind of a level of conference. Okay. Yeah, and this CIKM is actually, so as it says in this weird name, so it's actually a mixture of three different fields in the computer science. So one is data mining, and another is, as we saw, it covers this IR, and then also another one of DB, or database. Okay, so it has these three different tracks, probably separately. Yeah, so yeah, when I submitted the paper there, maybe around 8 years ago, yeah, there was a separate, the tracks separated between among them, and then yeah, if we submit to this IR track, and then the review will be really tough, because within that sub areas, people are really critical, or okay, and yeah, and also in this IR, so information retrieval is, if you think of like a keyword search, or like doing some search kind of activity, is a kind of a passive form of giving the information to users. So you express your information needs, and then computer, in response, computer will give the relevant information to us, right? So all the things are initiated by users. So in that sense, it's it can be viewed as a kind of passive kind of a retrieval kind of form. And then what will be what about the active kind of retrieval of some relevant items or useful items? So that is called what? Recommender system, or recommendation, right? So that is like, so we do nothing, and then just a system gives you some recommendation, right? So that can be viewed as kind of an active kind of retrieval, or useful or meaningful, or items to users, right? And so SIG-IR is closely related, or IR field actually includes some of these recommender system related techniques, okay? And so in this case, although SIG-IR covers like a passive information retrieval or active recommendation, but also specifically for the recommendation, there is a conference called ACM. I think it's also ACM1, REXIS. So recommender system conference, okay, conference on recommender system. So if you're interested in recommender system, then you can maybe go to this conference website as well. Okay, and this one is not a big one, so I don't think that is really a major one. Although the acceptance rate for that conference is quite competitive, maybe low 20s, I think. But it's a really kind of small but really focused communities. So in terms of visibility, I think SIG-IR still is the best one. And then I missed one thing in this list of the data mining conferences. So we have also the conference called Wisdom, WSDM. The full name is Web Search and Data Mining. Okay, so that is like combining, similar to SIG-IR, is combining IR and data mining. Okay, so that is a relatively new one, like maybe around 10 years old, but that is really the steering committee, or steering people that created or initiated that conference, was actually trying to maintain the conference quality really good from the beginning. So they maintain the acceptance rate well below 20. So the usual acceptance rate is like 16 to 18, or maybe up to 19 or so. So they really try to resemble or look at make their conference look like WWW. Okay, then I don't know why I kind of described or explained about all the various conferences, but I have a lot more to discuss or describe about other areas conferences, but maybe in the next time, yeah, if we have another opportunity. Okay, so let's finish our class today. And so, yeah, again, our homework will be, is to watch the first two lectures in the CS224N. Okay, thank you very much.
등록을 못했는데 정정태 여시나요?
네, 이게 정정태 이게 정원이 40명이라 그러더라고요, 연락방이. 그래서 40명까지 이제 늘리도록 이렇게 세팅을 했거든요. 정정 기간이 아직 안 됐나요?
네,
네, 그럼 그때 아마 신청하면 될 것 같아요. 더 어떻게 하지? 25명 지금 25명일 것 같은데.
학번 미리 적고 그럴 필요가 없어.
네, 아마 내가 따로 뭔가 등록을 해주기는 과에 그게 뭔가 팔러시가 그렇게 또 따로 이렇게 해주지는 않는 것 같아서 아마 그때 좀 타이밍 맞춰서 좀 신청을 해야 돼요.
정정기간 되면 못 들어오면 못 들어오고.
그렇지 않을까요? 이게 정정기간도 더 넣으면 이게 여기 정원만큼으로 내가 맥시멈 그걸로 세팅을 해서 지금 네, 그거보다 더 받을 수가 아마 없을 것 같아요.
그때도 이메일 주셨는데 수강 정정 기간에 불러서
네.
정원하신다고
네.
그 세상에서 되면은 다음 주까지 렉션 투투포 안에
투투포에
첫 번째 그게
네, lecture 1, lecture 2 비디오.